So who are, of all the presidential candidates, then you say everything's so corrupt, like who, is there like a ranking of who's the least likely to be corrupt?
Well, Kaplan, let me go through the list real quick. Here,
let's go through the list. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We got one early leader from what my reading, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong here. The early leader is George Forsyth.
Forsyth, yeah.
He has 12% of the he has 12% support, 12%, and he's in the lead. He was a one-time soccer goalie and also a former mayor. But he has an anti-corruption platform, so he's like running on anti-corruption. But he also doesn't seem to be clear on how the justice system works or anything like that. One of his quotes is he said that graft cases should work, in quote, like they work in the movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like the American justice system, which is completely different to ours.
Yeah, you would have to change your whole country's system of government.
Yeah. And you have to pay jurors. And we have like the most corrupt judges ever. Can you imagine how corrupt those jurors would be? Like if we did that?
Yes.
He wants to pay the jury? Like
no, in America, we pay jurors.
Oh,
you pay a juror for jury duty, right?
But not a lot. Yes. It's not a.
No, but they give you something. What I mean is that would also be more expensive than the system we have now, and it would not guarantee.
Oh, so you don't have jurors? No? Do you not have jurors at all?
No, we don't.
Oh, wow.
No, George wants it to look like it looks in the movies.
Right,
right. 12 jurors sitting there. There's a judge with a gavel. He basically just watched like
Law and Order. Law and Order episodes.
And he's like, get me that, and I want iced tea too. Get me
I agree with him.
That's where he gets his legal knowledge.
But people are going to have to do jury duty. He's never going to win. Nobody would have voted for jury duty.
He's not going to win. He's going down. I mean, he was leading the polls like since last year, but as soon as the campaign started and he had to open his mouth, he started going down, and he's
on the ballot because I had read he was off the ballot at one point, and then he got back.
Yeah, I mean he's off the ballot right now, but he's probably going to be put back in. We have this also very stupid process that they would just like put you out of the running because of the most stupid things like. You didn't declare this whatever old car that you saw like 20 years ago, and he's like, it's right there. I mean, it's stupid things like that, you know. That guy, he was a football player. You guys call it soccer, but and
we have an American audience. We have to cater to them. We know it's
we have a blowhard audience we should say football. Our audience wants to impress people.
Well, they'd be like, who do you play for, the Buccaneers?
We say football and American football.
Yes.
There you go. American.
Was he a good goalie? How was he?
No, he wasn't even good. I mean, he wasn't even a football star. He was
not going to work
at best.
Because a goalie, if a bad goalie is like, fans hate bad goalies. I mean, because they blow games, you know. So there's no way.
Oh yeah, and he was he was popular because he went on a TV show after that. Some kind of like American Gladiators kind of stuff, and he became like a show business figure because of that. Reality That's stars. How we won he got to be mayor, but he was mayor of this place, which is the place where his football team originates from. It's called La Victoria. It's a very dangerous district. And he became mayor of that place, but he didn't even finish his period because he just quit to try to run for president.
Nice. Oh, that's like almost like Mayor Pete. You go from mayor to president. Yeah. All right. Next up, Kiko Fujimori. Who that's a familiar name. She's the daughter of the former Fujimori who ran your country for 10 years, and from what I can tell, had a dicey campaign. Her issue, time in office. Kiko's issue is that she's currently in prison for human rights crimes.
Bit of an issue. She's out. No, that's not it. She's out. She's out. She's free now. She was she was in what we call preventive imprisonment, which is like, we know you're so corrupt and that you're going to run away, so we're going to put you in jail while you're on trial.
Oh, I thought you meant that we know you're going to commit crimes. We can just tell you're a criminal, so we're just going to put you in jail now before preemptive war.
That's what they should do. That's a great
idea.
I believe if you want to run for president here, you should go to jail first.
Yes, see how you like it.
All right, so is she going to win?
No.
Okay.
She lost by very little last few times, but she was the leader of the big Congress group that overthrew Kuczynski and caused all of this mayhem in the last year. So that has taken a toll on her image. You know, right now she's like at 6%.
Okay, here's what I have to say. If Vizcarra can get the death penalty for taking a vaccine, This lady has human rights crimes against her.
No, but she was. I'm sorry. She's not being tried for human rights. She's been tried for taking money from these construction companies for her campaign and hiding it.
New York Times fails me again.
Yeah, look at this fake news you're doling out there, Turner.
All right, what about Daniel Uresti? Sounds like he's going to get arrested pretty soon.
This is another good one. Another winner.
He's a nationalist. Sounds good, but he's currently on trial for murder of a journalist in 1998. Is that correct?
Yeah. He was a military guy in the times that Fujimori and the military were fighting terrorism here. And during those times, a lot of people from the military, they just did whatever they want. So he was a boss of intelligence in some place in the north of Peru.
Yeah.
And basically he just had some people kill a journalist to frame the terrorists so he could do some specific operations at that time. Sure. But he did that under pseudonym, so he won't accept that he did. But
his alter ego did it. I didn't do that.
No, he says that's not true.
And the immunity applies to him definitely then, because you're.
Oh yeah, and he's in Congress right now, and
it's amazing.
He's running for president. He's not gonna make it. He's backed by one of those university guys, one of the most corrupted ones.
Oh,
he's not going to make it, and I hope he goes to jail for that. I mean, a few weeks ago they showed his people trying to bribe witnesses in that case. I mean, they got them on video and everything.
I saw he went off the ballot too, and then he came back on. He's another one. He seems more legitimate.
Most of them do. I mean, it's just that there's different instances on where that gets decided. So basically, it's like this jury suspended your campaign, but you still have those two instances. So they're probably going to be.
Can't do mail-in ballots then, because if the ballots keep changing up until election day, it's
no, because we don't mail in votes. We only vote on one day.
Yeah,
we just go to vote in one day, and we it usually works pretty well. And we have to vote here. Voting is mandatory. We don't have.
If you don't vote, you go to prison, or what happens?
No, you just pay a fine.
You pay a fine,
but not a high fine. But
all right, last two names I'm going to give you, and then we'll wrap it up here because we've been going about an hour here. Last two: Veronica Mendoza. She seems to have no criminal charges against her. That's good for her. And then Hernando de Soto, who also, from what I can tell, doesn't have criminal charges. What do you think of those two? Does either one have a chance?
Veronica has a chance.
Okay.
She's the left-wing one you mentioned earlier. Could win.
Yeah. One of the left-wing candidates that could win. She doesn't have criminal charges, but people here associate her a lot with what's been happening in Venezuela, because she's been left-wing, and she's one of those people that when they ask her about Venezuela, she's incapable of saying that's a dictatorship, we don't want that. She will say like, well, Maduro was elected and their people wanted this or that.
Well, she's a democratic socialist, right?
Yeah. And so when it comes to like social liberties and civil rights, I think she's good. The thing is that her economic plans, I mean, are for like a rich country, not for us.
Okay.
That's what I believe, And I don't know. People with money here, it's like if you get a left-wing candidate, he starts doing stuff, they would just take their money out.
I see what you're saying.
They're going to take all their big universities. They're just all going to leave. If all the big privates get pick up and
stuff like that.
Yeah, because you need to, whatever the tax burden needs to be balanced with the options. Basically, if you have no other if you can't, like in America, people stay. Like even California, for example, they get taxed, like it goes up and up every year, and people will complain. But ultimately, they stay. This is
same in New York. It's like because it's like a value to living there and make.
Because it's a value. This is the first.
People are leaving California for Texas now. A lot of
for the first time. This is really the first time California's finally reached its breaking point after like 50 years of taxes going up. They finally reached where it is. But you have to figure out that balance. So, and what about De Soto?
De Soto is he's a very well-educated man, much kind of like what was Kuczynski a few years ago. He's very successful worldwide, like a renowned economist. He worked with very top economists, but he has no morals, man. I mean, he's worked with Gaddafi. He's worked with Mubarak. I mean, if you got the money, he'll help you. And
but he is left wing. But yeah,
he's not left wing. He's a right wing liberal.
He's very okay. Yeah.
And I mean, he wouldn't be terrible. I think if he went on for the economy, and he's a liberal, but he doesn't have any charisma, and he's too white for in one hand, and he's too associated with people who've been in government, like Fujimori and people like that. He helped Keiko a bunch in the previous campaigns. He supported her, and he's not catching up. But we have this right-wing candidate that is climbing up very fast, and he could get to the second round, because we have like the two first ones go to a second election round, like among just those two. And this guy we have Lopez Aliaga, which is the closet gay guy that I was telling you about.
Oh yeah, the abstinence guy.
Yeah, he's trying to do it like a Trump thing. I mean, like, because there's this woman who won a trial to get euthanized here, like a week ago.
Kill herself.
Because she has like this very serious disease, and she's been fighting for this for a while. And this guy just came out and said, like, wow, if she wants to die, why does she just goes and jumps out of a roof, or she could just go and get into a bathtub, put some nice music on, eat her wrists, and they just bleed out and stay dead. I don't know why she has to burden the state with that.
Yeah, it's a tax burden.
Good bit.
It's like Trump, he's trying to be like Trump.
Yeah, but Trump would never. I mean, Trump would not stand for abstinence. I can't imagine him even talking to someone who believes in abstinence. Like that's like the anti-Trump.
This guy believes in abstinence because he's gay. Because if he wasn't, he would be just like, screwing around.
I mean, which is the most of those people we've mentioned? Because I mean, like Hernando de Soto, for instance, the way you described him, I feel like he would be impeached in like 6 months because he sounds like. Who am I getting this? Who's like the most? Do you think he's the most corrupt likelihood, or who's the one? If you're looking to vote someone in who's not going to get impeached, if we're going to go 4 years, who do you think?
Well, we have this other guy who's also climbing, and I think he has a very good chance of winning. Who's called Lescano, he's also left wing, but more like a populist, and so he's left wing, but he's conservative. So he's not like he's against gay marriage, and
he's socially conservative.
His party tried to pass a law yesterday, forbidding people to post sexy pictures on their social.
Boo!
That is
social media. It's like he could put you a fine, fine a girl if she puts she uploads a photo in a bikini or something like that. Can you imagine?
I mean, nobody would follow Captain America if I couldn't post sexy pictures of myself. So no.
Yeah. So that guy could win too. That guy could win.
Oh my gosh! It's him versus the closeted gay guy.
Yeah.
Versus the left-wing Democratic socialist who likes Maduro. That's just great choices you have here.
That's pretty much what's going to happen. I think the president's going to be between the conservative left-wing guy and maybe Veronica, because I don't think that the fascist guy is going to win.